They expected an invasion, a grand armada, fleets of warships blotting out the stars, a declaration of war echoing across the hyperspace lanes. They prepared their planetary shields, mustered their legions, and braced for the inevitable clash of civilizations. But the human ships that arrived weren't dreadnoughts. They were cargo haulers, diplomatic couriers, and unassuming survey vessels. The humans didn't bring lasers and plasma cannons. They brought contracts, trade agreements, and economic advisors. And that's how the galaxy was truly won. Not with a bang, but with a balance sheet. The great empires, the ancient galactic powers, they thought in terms of conquest, of territory, of military might. They saw the universe as a chessboard, a game of direct confrontation and brute force. Humans saw it as something far more complex and far more malleable. They saw it as a system, a vast, interconnected network of dependencies, of supply and demand, of influence and information, and they knew a secret the old powers had forgotten. You don't need to break a system to control it. You just need to rewrite the rules. Take the case Dominia, for example, a warrior race, proud and unyielding, with a fleet that had terrorized their quadrant for 1,000 cycles. They expected a human challenge, a glorious battle to be sung about for ages. Instead, humans started trading with their neighbors, the quiet, industrious Pelanth. They offered the Pelanth advanced agricultural technology in exchange for exclusive rights to their Xerillium crystal exports. It seemed like a minor deal, but Xerillium was a key component in Kesari starship engines. Within 5 years, the Pelanth economy boomed. They no longer needed to pay tribute to the Kesari and the Their supply of Xerillium, once cheap and abundant, became scarce and exorbitantly expensive, controlled entirely by human-backed corporations. Their mighty fleet, the pride of the Dominion, became prohibitively costly to maintain. Shipyards fell silent. Warriors were The Kesari Empire didn't fall in a blaze of glory. It was downsized. It was restructured. It became a client state, dependent on human trade for the very fuel that once powered its conquests. Humans didn't fire a single shot. They just altered a single variable in the economic equation. This is the essence of human strategy, what our galactic neighbors slowly, and often painfully, came to understand as systems thinking. It's the art of seeing the whole board, not just the pieces. While others were focused on capturing the king, humans were busy controlling the squares, redirecting the paths, changing the very value of the pieces themselves. They didn't invade planets, they invested in them. They didn't destroy armies, they made them obsolete. Think about the Galactic Concord, a massive, bureaucratic alliance of hundreds of worlds, held together by ancient treaties and layers of impenetrable regulations. Direct opposition was futile. So humans stint opposite they join it. Italiano, they sent their brightest, their most charismatic, their most infuriatingly patient diplomats and lawyers. They didn't argue against the laws. They proposed amendments. Small ones, at first, a tweak to a subclause in a trade tariff here. A redefinition of a term in an interstellar shipping manifest there. Each change was a tiny nudge, seemingly insignificant. But hundreds of these nudges, applied over decades, began to steer the colossal ship of the Concord in a new direction. Trade routes that had been static for millennia began to shift, flowing through human-controlled star systems. Political alliances that were once unshakable started to fray as new economic incentives created new loyalties. Entire sectors of the galaxy, once loyal to the Concord's old guard, found their economies and political futures inextricably linked to human interests. The Galactic Concord still stood, but it was a hollow shell. The real power flowed not through its council chambers, but through the financial terminals and corporate boardrooms of humanity. This is our soft power. It's less dramatic than a planetary bombardment, but infinitely more effective. We export our culture, our media, our philosophies. Young aliens across the galaxy watch human dramas, listen to human music, and read human literature. They start to adopt human concepts: individual ambition, disruptive innovation, the relentless pursuit of efficiency. These ideas are more potent than any weapon. They dismantle old hierarchies and traditions from the inside out. A young Xylosian, heir to a rigid, caste-based society, sees a human movie about a self-made entrepreneur and starts to question his preordained role. That's a crack in the foundation of his entire civilization. A crack made not by a shock trooper, but by a storyteller. They expected invasion. They got restructuring. They prepared for warships. They got trade routes that suddenly made their home systems irrelevant. They trained for battle. They got new political alliances that isolated them without a single threat being made. They braced for a fight for their worlds. They got a complete redesign of the galactic map, drawn with lines of credit and logistics. Empires didn't fall to human fleets. They fell quietly, in boardrooms and on stock exchanges, their power draining away until they were nothing but a memory. This is the story of humanity's expansion, not a saga of conquest, but one of elegant, ruthless, and total redesign. We looked at the complex machinery of the galaxy, with all its gears and levers, and we didn't try to smash it. We simply learned how to operate it better than anyone else. We found the source code of civilization economics, culture, information, and we started editing. Humans don't conquer worlds. They rewrite them. They don't take your planet. They just change the rules so that, eventually, you give it to them, and you might even thank them for it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into a different kind of galactic strategy, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would this strategy really work? See you next time.